We are live again, late on a Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us. It's me, it's you, it's us, it's Losing Sucks, and it's episode 86, which is the more important storyline topic here. A lot of movement in the NFL, Travis.
Big
A
day.
lot of movement. The internets have gone insane. Everybody's talking about the players that should have been traded, the players that are traded. But before we get into all that, we got to talk about the boring stuff, talk about the necessary stuff, talk about where you can follow us on Twitter at Losing Sucks. Make sure you check out our website at losingsucksfantasy.com. I'm your host, Dustin Bland. That's Travis Masterson, my co-host. And like I said, we're Losing Sucks. If this is your first time listening, thank you. If it's your first time watching, keep doing that. We like it. Like it when you can see our faces.
Welcome.
Yes, you're welcome. That is right. We are a couple of handsome individuals, and it is a treat. It is a gift for you, specially packaged and wrapped just the way you know you like it. But week 8, man, can you believe it? We're 8 weeks into the season, and we're heading into week 9. We are officially past the halfway point because there's no more official halfway point. But
Yep.
if I could ask you, what do you think is the biggest surprise this far, halfway through the season, that you just absolutely could not see coming this season?
Man, the biggest surprise would be.
There's been a lot of them, for sure.
I think that I expected so much more from the Rams, the Raiders, and the Packers.
Yeah, I got some.
Between those
Oof.
three teams, the letdowns that have been Derek Carr, Darren Waller, Devontae
Oof.
Adams,
Mm.
A.J. Dillon, Aaron Rodgers, Matt Stafford, Allen Robinson, Cam Akers. I mean, it just goes on. And
Right.
those are three teams that all offseason I was getting for what I thought at really good values, those weapons,
Unbelievable.
because people wanted to stay away. And people were right, not named Travis.
Yeah, look, the fantasy community has been shocked and awed this whole season. A lot of people eating some humble pie, myself included.
Everybody.
This-
I mean,
yeah,
it's been so wild that if you are not eating humble pie, if you do not have wrong takes, then either you don't make any takes, you
Yeah.
have zero opinion, or you're just
Oof.
constantly changing every week with whatever is actually happening. So
For sure.
it's been tough. Christian McCaffrey being
Yeah, we'll
prime Christian McCaffrey is another
Definitely
surprise.
Talk about him. Absolutely. We'll break him down. We got the rundown today, Travis. We've got, of course, what we learned. We're going to summarize our big picks. Finally had a good week on those. Glad to finally be able to talk about those with a smile.
Yes.
And then, of course, we're going to break down those trades. We're going to break down those trades that happened. The trade deadline was today, and players were moved around. Some players stayed put. We're going to talk about it as we head into week 9 and see kind of how it impacts the fantasy landscape and the NFL landscape going forward.
Quick question for you before we start this rundown.
Yeah.
Something that I've been noticing, but it really got to me this past weekend, is the amount of batted balls thrown by quarterbacks. Do you think, A, is it at a higher rate than ever, or does it just feel like that right now? And B, is it due to quarterbacks shrinking and not being able to see over the O-line, or are defensive linemen actually being coached so much more to bat balls down now than ever before?
I can tell you. So it's a couple things. I've actually looked into this when I saw you tweet about it, and from what I found, it's a couple of things that you said. One, I don't think that the quarterbacks are shrinking, but it is
good.
It is coached because the mobile quarterbacks. So what the defensive linemen are being taught, especially on the edge, is that if you can't get to the quarterback, contain. And what happens when you're containing, you're farther away, you have better vantage point of where they're throwing. And then, of course, when they're throwing, you're going to put your hands up.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of what it is, granted, I don't have the numbers to tell you, oh, no, it's definitely up over last year. I don't know. I don't know if that's even tracked. But
Of course, it's got to be. It's got to
Oh,
be.
yeah,
I would
I'm
love
sure.
to see
yeah,
this
I'm
year
sure it's tracked.
which quarterbacks are not getting balls batted down. And what are they doing differently?
I can tell you that a lot of the batted balls that we're seeing are like on important downs on these primetime games, and I feel like it's definitely in the public's eye. And it's definitely something that I'm curious. Now I'm gonna have to go look and see.
It's like you have all these weapons, and it's like, oh, it's 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, and it's like I need the drive to keep going.
I think we actually might have data on that.
And it's a drive killer.
Yeah, let me look. Let me look at that. All
right,
I'm curious now. Yeah, but let's get into the rundown, man. Let's get into what the people are here for.
We're gonna dive in to the rundown. I'll be exhausted because it's like a triathlon.
Denver, Jacksonville, and I put it on loop again, man. I did it. I just every single time I missed the check mark.
Jim's like, I'm not done yet.
I'm not done. I'm part of the show. Denver and Jacksonville. Let's talk about this game. Because, boy, oh boy, this game was ugly to watch. It did not make me feel good. The Broncos won. Look, I had to wake up. Just think about this for a second. This is what most football fans woke up and they started their day with. Okay, the Broncos are still awful.
Do we still hate them?
Of course.
Okay, yeah, good.
Absolutely. Etienne, though, this was a bright spot for him. He went nuclear. He got 20 plus carries. It looked great. 162 yards, and he scored.
The calm, cool, collected version of Dustin right now is really disappointing for the actual words because they shouldn't be matching up with the energy. Yeah. This is your Ronald Jones.
Well, this
is your son.
Oh, don't you dare! Don't you dare call him my Ronald Jones.
Like you loved him, like you have loved him, like sure. I have loved Ronald, and this guy is killing. Imagine if Ronald Jones was doing this, I would be going absolutely nuts.
For sure.
You should be showing more love to Etienne right now.
Man, look, while I was watching the game, I'm screaming. I'm up and down. I'm going to try and get the energy up here. It's late on a Tuesday and I got to match it.
Why don't you just read the stat line again? That should do it for you.
He had 162 yards and a touchdown, Travis. And that was putting it modestly. He could have had so many more scoring opportunities. We're going to see this going forward, and he's a locked-in top 8 running back the rest of the season, Travis. Lock it in.
I like it. Jacob Fabian said on Sunday, Etienne has the juice. I think that was well said. Etienne has more than the juice. Etienne is the juice.
He is the juice. That's right. The whole dang carton.
Anything else for Jacksonville? You, as a Trevor Lawrence stan, he takes the L. Did you see some things you like and didn't like? Quick analysis of your guy.
Trevor Lawrence looks very inconsistent. He's still making a lot of bad plays. His decision making is really disappointing. That's a good way to put it. I mean, there was a drive, man, where I was watching and he got picked off, and there was nowhere he should not have thrown it. Like, it was absolutely, the play was not there, but they were in the red zone.
Yeah, it was like at the 5.
Yeah, and he gives the possession away. It was tipped, and then it's like, what are you doing? And then that's got to be the next progression in his game.
Yeah, it seems like an easy fix though. Like, those are the things you can teach.
It's gonna take a lot of coaching. Like, that's not something that's gonna be fixed this season, and it's unfortunate, but that's just kind of where we're at. Like, they're already kind of minimizing. Like, he's risk adverse a lot of the time, and then he kind of picks and chooses his spots, which is kind of what you want to see. But it's kind of frustrating. Like, you see a lot of these games where it's just 163 passing yards, or he's not really the reason why they win or lose. He's just kind of there.
I wish he would run more. I feel like it would help the offense in general, and that's part of his identity. I feel like he's suppressing that. Like, just be you.
Yeah, he's gonna figure it out. Like I said before this season, I think this is kind of what I'm calling his caveat. Rookie season with an actual head coach.
Okay.
Next year's where I want to see that development. Second year in the system, that's more what I want to see is the better decision making. But Green Bay and Buffalo, man, let's talk about that.
Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are still reeling. They do not look like the Packers that we have known for so long.
God, I love it.
Aaron Jones is still a great football player. 150 plus yards that will always help your fantasy day. With or without the touchdown, Aaron Jones is a monster.
Yes, he
Quiet
is.
day from Josh Allen, a mere 20 points. That is the floor. That is Josh Allen.
The
ironically,
ceiling is the roof.
Ironically, this happens, a week after or the week of the closing of the Josh Allen 101 debate. It's weird how that happens.
Weird.
He gives you a mere 20. For the most part, outside of a really nice touchdown, that was a beautiful route by Diggs, and a great touchdown catch by Romeo Doubs. Not much excitement in this game. Gabe Davis was quiet. Everybody outside of Romeo was quiet in the passing game.
It's kind of one of those where
it sucked, man. It sucked.
The game plans kind of meshed in a way to where Buffalo knew Green Bay did not have to or couldn't throw it, so they let them run it, which isn't exciting for the passing game. And then nothing, like the Buffalo Bills knew that they could kind of matriculate the ball down the field as much as they wanted to. A couple of ugly turnovers there late, but I think, like you said, this is a floor game in a game where Buffalo knew that they had this team beat. Like, if you watch the game, it was not even as close as the score.
It was never a game.
Ended.
Yeah.
Another game that was a game, though, Travis, moving on to the next game, Carolina and Atlanta. Holy cow, in a battle for first place, which is a wild thing to say again. Carolina, Atlanta is now, of course, in first place. But the more fantasy relevant news, Deonta Foreman, holy cow, he is a man. DJ Moore, making plays. He just needed PJ Walker, of all people, to join the field. DJ Moore had 155 yards and a touchdown. That 70-yard bomb at the end of the game and the regulation ultimately is what probably cost them the win.
Yeah.
After he took off his helmet, it was flagged for the penalty. But he, if it were not for that touchdown, that long touchdown, he probably has somewhat of a disappointing game. But he kind of saved himself, went from one tier to the next. Foreman, of course, monster game, 118 yards. He has back-to-back 118-yard performances, but 3 touchdowns in this game.
Beast.
I like what we've got here. Carolina is a fun offense now. I don't. Whether or not it's going to continue, whatever it is, they've got a confidence, after the coaching change. So that's what you want to see.
You're starting them every week.
Exactly. You have to.
Which is really nice. We needed extra weapons with how thin it was for a while.
For sure. All they needed was to get that bum Christian McCaffrey out of town, and the team blows up. Who knew?
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts, on the other hand, in Atlanta, he finally scored. Probably on your bench, from what I read. A lot of people had him on their bench, and they are upset. Mariota, though, went over 20 points. And then of course, Caleb Huntley, 16 carries for 91 yards. This is a good question to ask, though. Are you adding him as a speculative at the end of your roster right now, off waivers most likely, or are you kind of like, okay, let other people waste a roster spot? Patterson's coming back, probably.
I would say if you have room or you have somebody else that you don't ever see yourself playing, add him, because Patterson could miss this week, and maybe you can throw Huntley in your bye week.
Yep.
In your flex, while your guys are on bye. It's another heavy bye week. So yeah, I think throw a waiver at him. I wouldn't blow your budget because Patterson will be coming back, but I'm okay giving him, a 10% type payment. At this point in the year, you're going to run out of chances to use your fab. So
for sure.
So yeah, go ahead and get him, plug him in if Patterson's out this week. Those are the type of guys that, again, 16 for 91. If he falls in the end zone, he's a top 8 running back on the week. So that volume is there.
Yeah, for sure.
Dallas and Chicago, holy Tony Pollard. Actually, holy everyone in this game.
No joke.
147 yards for Tony Pollard, 3 touchdowns. Is there a changing of the guard at running back? I think we start to see a 60-40, maybe more for Pollard.
It depends on who you ask. If you ask Jerry, I think Zeke's not going anywhere.
He always says that. But I think Tony Pollard is playing his way into the 1A role. And it did not feel like Dallas won that game by 20. It really didn't. Like that.
No.
Because it's so exciting to see Justin Fields was sharp. 17 for 23, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then another 60 for a score on the ground. Fields, 26 points. He is on fire right now.
I think we got a weekly starter there at quarterback.
Yeah.
I think he's going to give you that floor now. We're seeing the rushing upside. He's intriguing, man. I constantly have to make the decision between him and Kirk Cousins each week. And you know what? It's interesting whenever you need a floor game, you go with Fields, to give you that rushing upside, and then you take advantage of good matchups with Cousins. So
I like it. Prescott was sharp too. 21 to 27. That's can't be a whole lot better than that. 5 for 34 on the ground too with the score.
If you need your weapons to start against the defense going forward, though, the Bears are going to be a nice defense to target after we sold everybody for picks. And then we have now, like I said, we'll talk about the trades, but we made some moves, and I have questions. But we'll talk about that.
Finally, Khalil Herbert, 99 yards and a score on the ground. I wish they would give him more work, but I know Montgomery's a good running back.
You know who the number 7 running back is right now?
Who?
Khalil Herbert.
Wow. That's great value. 16 carries to Montgomery's 15, though. It's just that he does so much more with them. Maybe they start to give him a little more. I don't know. I feel like Montgomery is such a heartbeat of that team. Like he is the leader there. Yeah. So Herbert is. I don't know. Let's put it this way: Herbert is efficient enough to put him in your flex and start him weekly, because 16 for 99 and a score can happen any week against anybody.
Yeah,
he's that type of player.
That's fair. Man, I got to look at that. I don't think Khalil Herbert's the running back 7. He's 7th in rush efficiency. I'll have to look at that. At that. I misspoke, but another game that was electric. Travis, Miami and Detroit. I feel like we saw this one coming. This had shootout potential all over it, but it was weird, at least on Detroit, because weird isn't really doing it justice, because DeAndre Swift started. He was full participant all week long, but it still felt like they were kind of managing his touches. Dan Campbell came out and said that, I think we gave, DeAndre one too many carries. And Jamal Williams still vulturing touchdowns. He is still the guy that they are using to at the most valuable points in the field, the 5 zone, 10 zone. It's still Jamal Williams, and it's just annoying. Play them both.
I've decided to just play them both.
At this point,
put them in.
You can start Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift, absolutely. The wide receivers for Miami, still great. Tua was the quarterback 1 on the week, and that's not a good look for Travis on the he's never going to do this again mark. Yeah, Tua can't throw, except for he threw for 382 yards and 3 touchdowns.
We'll see if he has. I think the statement was, will he have more top 5s or more over QB 20s?
Outside of the 20s, yeah.
Yeah, after that, I feel like after week 2.
It's going to be awkward. It's going to be really awkward when he just keeps destroying because he has great weapons.
Yeah, speed kills. Speed kills. But, man, they got some new weapons, too, coming to town. So
yeah, for sure.
Miami's going for it, man.
We knew that.
I like it. I like their mentality.
I do. I like it when teams kind of shoot their shot. Miami's got a chance, with the second coming of Drew Brees there. So it'll be something. Oh, let's talk about Arizona and Minnesota.
Kyler Murray, QB3 on the week. Arizona receiving options had a good day. DeAndre Hopkins is that dude.
He is.
Unguardable.
Well
worth the wait.
I have questions still. I still think
there are no questions about DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah. Did you see that all of his routes are run from the left side of the field? This was a narrative. This has been a narrative for years now. They went back and looked at all the next gen stats for games that they tracked him, and I think it's like 96% of his routes are all ran from the left side of the field.
Maybe that's because that's where Kyler likes throwing the ball. So he's like, I'm
I
going
think
to
they
this
just like
side
throwing
because that's
it
where
where
I
he
get
is
the
at.
rock.
I don't know. Cliff Kingsbury is an enigma to me.
This is true.
The
I
Vikings.
regretfully, in that Diamond League, when I turned down Kenneth Walker, A.J. Brown, and Irv Smith for Kelsey, that was a bad choice.
Yeah, you shouldn't have done that. I can't believe you turned that down.
The next week, I was offered Goddard for Hopkins, 1-for-1. I get Hopkins for my Goddard. And I said no, because Hollywood was still healthy, and I wanted to see 1 week of Hopkins. That is why I'm 3-4 in that league. It's been my choice.
Yeah, life comes at you fast.
I still plan on winning
now.
that. 3-5. I still plan on winning that league. I'm not over. It's not over till it's
cute.
over.
That's really. I'm glad you still plan on it. I mean, that's
Mahomes and Kelsey coming back. We're gonna get on a run here. Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Kirk had a decent day, rushing for a touchdown, shocker, and throwing 2. Justin Jefferson did enough to be okay, almost 100 yards. Thielen pretty underwhelming, 6 for 60 something.
He's getting old.
He's looking older and older as the season goes on.
Yeah, I think he's running out of juice.
He
gave all the juice.
And they had a new addition. We'll get there also, but
Yep.
T.J. Hawkinson is now a Viking.
Yes,
Do
he
you
is.
think in deeper leagues redraft KJ Osborne is worth adding in case something happens to Thielen, or
I think he's been worth adding regardless. Like
Okay.
he has these games where, like, if you look at his targets, they're actually not bad. But he has these games where, like, he looks good. Like, he gets the ball, he just gets open. I think there's a good shot that he'll be, relevant. He'll stay relevant for years. He's like it's like a Tyler Boyd. That's
would you
what he
put
reminds
him?
me of.
Would you put him in the category of like a Tyquan Thornton right now? For redraft, like who would you rather start?
Oh man, I'd probably go KJ Osborne just because the offense is more, is probably better. But Tyquan Thornton, man, I think that offense just needs help. Like, it's just it's really inconsistent right now.
Yeah,
you watch it like that.
You're banking on Cousins instead of the New England
For sure.
passers.
Yeah,
okay,
for sure. Yeah.
Fair enough.
The Raiders and the Saints. I hate that we have to talk about it, but let's talk about it. Look, I'll just make it quick on one side of the ball. The Raiders did absolutely nothing. They look broken. Yep. This is a shell of a team. Alvin Kamara. Holy cow. This guy. He was with top back this week.
And by top, you mean RB1 overall.
Yeah, he was the top back.
Top back. Alvin Kamara, vintage Kamara.
That's what you like to see. He was catching all over the place. He was scoring touchdowns. That's exactly what you want to see. The Raiders give up points like no other, and happened to be a call of Travis's for the big pick of the week.
Oh,
which is what you like to hear. Taysom Hill had
so involved. He's so
and his
involved.
name is John C.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
He's so involved.
He's so involved. He had yards. Didn't score, but he had yards. My question to you, though, is what are we thinking about the Saints pass catchers right now? We know that Andy Dalton's going to be throwing them the ball probably for the rest of the season. What do we think about them? Because Chris Olave has not been the target vacuum we thought he would be. He's a talented rookie, but he's still a rookie. And Jarvis Landry, nowhere to be seen. Michael Thomas, who the hell knows when he's coming back, if he's coming back. I don't even know if he plays football anymore.
Maybe not.
So my question to you is, what are you doing with them?
I would check to see how high somebody is willing to pay for Olave. This is redraft.
Interesting.
Not dynasty.
Interesting. Yeah, for sure.
I would check, if I have Olave, I would see, can I get an Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Interesting.
You might be able to.
As someone just added KJ Osborne over Van Jefferson. You're a monster.
I'm very thin.
I have to look at that.
Desperate.
I'm doing a show. I just made that happen.
I love that you said yes. I would. I was like, okay, then I will too. Here's what I think. I think Michael Thomas, I would cut him.
You would cut him?
Jarvis Landry, I would cut him. This is redraft.
Holy cow! You would cut Michael Thomas in redraft.
I would cut him. Yes.
Holy cow!
Just get rid of the headache.
You wouldn't trade him for anything?
No, nobody's taking him. Don't waste your effort and your good graces of trading with somebody on Michael Thomas.
I'm not trying to drop Michael Thomas.
Cut him and move on.
Not gonna do it.
Olave, I would check the price. I would try to get in Amon-Ra. And let's see who else.
It's always been the game
pretty
of
much
if he comes back.
It's going to be Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill, and one or two big plays by the speedster guys who you can't start. That's it.
Sure.
That's what we're going to get from them. So,
all right.
I'm done with them. How many years are we doing this with Michael Thomas?
Too many years.
It's over, man.
It's too many years.
It's over.
It's over, I guess.
Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. The Eagles are great. Once again, A.J. Brown, unbelievable day. 3 touchdowns. Nothing else to say there.
God, man.
The Steelers, much less so. Chase Claypool threw the only touchdown of the game for Pittsburgh, and then he left. He said, here's this, I'm out.
The Steelers, man.
No! We suck again!
Najee Harris sucks.
I don't know what to make of him, man. You know, I don't know if it's just that they're not using him the right way or that something is wrong with him.
That's just giving him an excuse.
I want to believe
I know
in him.
You saw the clip of the screen pass to him.
Yes, the one where he tried to, do this whole shimmy shake thing and then get nowhere.
That's the whole thing. That's all you need to see is this guy
he still has
good
so
football.
much talent. Like he's
not
having
playing
a
good
bad
football.
year. He's having a bad year. I don't want to sit here and say like outright go ahead and drop him or, trade him away.
Cut Najee Harris.
No, do not cut Najee Harris. Stop it. Stop the madness. No.
Right after you cut Michael Thomas, cut Najee Harris.
Travis just wants the people in his league to do these things.
Oh,
Please.
yeah. This sounds like I need the roster space. Cut.
Right, yeah. Just get rid of the headache, as Travis says. Yeah, don't take Tylenol. Just cut Najee Harris.
If Najee Harris can give you a 75-yard and a touchdown day at any point, it's a sell.
Does he even have 75 yards and a touchdown? Anyway, we're talking about the wrong team. Can we talk about the other team in Philadelphia or in Pennsylvania? Can we talk about that team?
The Phillies, who beat my Astros tonight 7-0.
Yeah, they whooped
home run
Astros.
derby. My God. Moving on from that, baseball.
Did you just bump your camera? You just bumped your camera off the center. What are you doing?
Did I?
It's just amateur hour.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did. Okay, I have to look at a Jamar Chase jersey right there. Dude doesn't even play football anymore.
I got so angry about all the home runs. I kicked my camera.
Oof.
Najee Harris sucks. We won't talk about the Steelers anymore.
Let's talk about the Eagles. We know they're great. We don't have to spend a lot of time talking about them.
We know they're great. You're starting all of them.
You start every single one of these Eagles. Like, Jalen Hurts is going to be great. Everybody's great. That's the end of the story. A.J. Brown had a monster game. We know he's capable of these. We can move on. Let's just move on. The Eagles are never going to lose a game. I'm going to call it right now. They're going to go undefeated.
It feels like 2 months ago we went on Drunk on Broad and we're like looking at the schedule with them saying, where could they lose? It's like they're not going to lose until they come to Dallas. They're losing that in Dallas.
I don't think they're going to. But crazy things happen in division. Let's talk about let's talk about the good. Let's stop talking about the good teams and let's talk about the Patriots and the Jets. I'm excited. Go ahead and start us off, Trav.
Ramondre Stevenson, Jacoby Myers. That's all you need to know. They performed. You're starting them each and every week right now. Is Damian Harris done? 11 carries, but they were meaningless. And he is the clear one to be.
There's no sex there. There's nothing.
If you have anybody to start that you think could get you 8 to 10 points, I would play them over Damian Harris until he's either fully healthy and getting a 50-50 again, or Ramondre gets banged up.
I don't know that we get there again. I think Damian's probably just, bench fodder. I think that's all he is. He's just a name. Stop it. Patrick Mahomes. Cut him.
By the end of it, not every league is a shrink league, okay?
Let's talk about the Jets, because this was also terrible. They couldn't get anything going on the ground, man. And Zach Wilson.
I wonder why.
Bad. Zach Wilson is bad.
He was fine.
No, he was not fine. He was good for fantasy. If you watch this game, he was awful. Absolutely terrible. Like, the announcers are just, like, literally talking about... Like, most of his production came in, like, garbage time. And it's literally just the announcers like, we didn't know quarterbacks could be this bad.
Can I ask you why he does not get the same grace that Trevor Lawrence does?
I think if you look at how they play, Trevor Lawrence makes boneheaded decisions, but then he doesn't make bad decision after bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. He'll make a lot of good plays, and it'll be like a great drive, and then terrible boneheaded decision. Like, why did you throw that ball? Zach Wilson doesn't look like he's gotten any better than last year. He is still.
He's played 4 games.
But he played all last year. How many games does he need?
I don't think he played all last year. I bet Trevor Lawrence has more starts than Zach Wilson.
Well, sure. But Zach Wilson is also playing he's in the second year of a system. Like,
I understand that, but he still does not have.
Are we going to
still
compare
has
the weapons?
Less starts than Trevor Lawrence. All I'm saying is this: extend some grace. If you're going to give Trevor Lawrence a whole, this is his rookie year. Maybe, give Zach Wilson some.
It's okay. I can get on board with giving him a little more
time. It's his 4th game of the year.
I'm just telling you, look, I understand. I'm telling you that the expectations are a little bit different. Trevor Lawrence is not no one is expecting this to be a top offense. That was never Trevor Lawrence's.
Nobody's expecting the Jets to be a top offense.
Yes,
either.
they are.
That is a fantasy.
Yes, they were. Yes,
that's a fantasy football belief because of the names.
I was told by a particular analyst that the Jets are going to be a top 10 offense this year.
Who?
That's what I was told. I'm not going to mention names because me and this guy already get into it, and we already don't agree.
I think you should mention names.
I'm not going to mention
accountability
names.
is okay, but he'll come at you for Lawrence too.
He'll come at me for Lawrence. I come at me for Lawrence. Lawrence has been pretty bad. But Zach Wilson, I'm telling you, look at the stat line. Yes, 355 and 2 and 3 interceptions, sure. But you watch that game, and it was awful. Like, Zach Wilson is making terrible decisions. And, again, maybe I'm just a Zach Wilson hater. I'll give him the same grace I give Trevor Lawrence. But I'm telling you, I think we see Zach Wilson under more pressure than Trevor Lawrence will be at the end of the season because the expectations for the Jets are higher.
I think that's fair. The expectations are higher, but between Lawrence, Fields, and Zach Wilson, the amount of that's okay, he's just getting started. That Fields and Lawrence get is astronomically more.
But you're not seeing those flash games where it's like, oh man, this was a game where Zach Wilson just put it all together. You haven't really seen it. But
I'm saying he could have one of those. Let's say he has a 275 and 2, and it has a clean game and they win, and then the next week has a bad one. It's like, oh my God, here's Zach Wilson. It's the same guy,
right?
Like the mindset has already been made up. We got to move on from Zach Wilson. All I'm saying is give him a little bit more grace. Maybe he'll start to play better.
He's the number 2 overall pick, man. He's got to play better.
Houston and Tennessee.
Yep.
You did try to tell everybody that Malik was in for a bad game here.
Like, look, everybody wanted to talk about he's a rushing quarterback. That means fantasy production. Like, bro, I watched Justin Fields his rookie year. Like, just because a dude rushes does not mean it is a good game.
Right.
That team was like, you know what? We have Malik Willis, but you know who else we also have is Derrick Henry. And the Houston defense is like, please don't use Derrick Henry. And then they use Derrick Henry and he goes off for 219 and 2.
Yep.
I am shocked. Good team uses best player. Wild.
Are you worried about the running back on the other side? The Houston Texans are looking like they're spiraling down right now.
They're on a nosedive, and the pilot has already jumped out of the plane. Like
he's game script proof. I mean, he's gonna get 20 touches.
He'll get 20 touches, but like, is he getting like a ton of catches? Like, he's not like a Alvin Kamara type where it's just like, don't worry, like even if they're in a bad spot, like they'll still throw him the ball. Like he's not like fed the ball regardless. He'll still get double-digit touches,
right?
But it's like, okay, he'll get 15 carries, but there's a good chance that 15 carries turns into 42 yards, and you know what? There's nothing he can do because people know now, especially with the news of Brandon Cooks not moving. We'll get to that, but I mean,
it's just hard to find a guy that is such a workhorse.
He is, but
even
it's on a bad
team. Like, would you prefer Damian Pierce or Ramondre Stevenson?
Ramondre.
Rest of season.
Yeah.
Tony Pollard.
Yeah, I go Tony Pollard.
Wow. Yeah. So Pierce is. I would say 2 weeks ago you would say Pierce. It's changing quick for you.
Yeah, because like I don't think Zeke's going to get healthier. I think Pollard's going to get more work, but I'm okay with Pollard getting less work than Pierce, but because I think he'll produce more. I'm not even saying Pierce won't have good games, but I'm saying there are going to be games where Pierce is absolutely unusable. Where you like today, like this week, where he gave you like 4 or 5 points, and that's nothing. But I think you're going to have more of those games than you are going to have what you used to have, where it's okay. He's scoring at a good rate. Like I just feel like that this team's not going to get better. I think we're going to continue seeing it get worse.
Very fair. New York Giants, Seattle Seahawks. Giants could not get anything going. This killed me. Dustin, I made the decision in a home league.
Yes,
between Jimmy Garoppolo, Justin Fields, Geno Smith,
Marcus Mariota. Could have given you some advice. I wish somebody could have given you any advice on this.
Did you not say Dimes?
I believe I said. Did I say Fields or Dimes on that one?
I think you said. I think you and Jacob said Dimes, and then like 10 minutes later, you said, "I'm actually going to pivot and go Fields."
Yes, I said I'm going to go Fields. Yes,
I did not pivot. Fields was on the bench. I lost by 4 points, and Danny Dimes gave me 9.
Ooh, you hate to see it,
brutal.
But that's fantasy, man. That's fantasy. Can we talk about the resurgence of a burgeoning superstar quarterback out of Seattle? Can we talk about Geno Smith?
West Virginia's finest.
He's having what I would call a Nick Foles type of year.
I like that.
Where he's exactly what that system needs. He's exactly what that team wanted. They don't want Carson Wentz. They want Geno Smith, And I'm going to call it right now. This Seahawks team is going to the playoffs. They are going to the playoffs. And I got a little bit of flack for it when I brought it up, but I think there's an outside chance. I'm not even going to call it like a super outside chance. It's just it's realistic to think that they can win that division.
Oh my God, he said it.
They can win that division. I looked at they don't have a tough schedule.
If Christian McCaffrey gets hurt, I think that Seattle can win.
I think Seattle has enough to be able to beat San Francisco.
Absolutely not.
Because they believe, and
because they believe. Whoa!
I'm just saying they.
Okay,
that
look,
team
Ben.
is
I'm gonna need some facts here. Okay.
All right. Let me ask you a question: Geno Smith or Jimmy G? Geno Smith or Jimmy G?
Real life or fantasy?
Real life.
Jimmy G.
No, I'm going Geno. I'm going Geno.
This is recency bias.
This is the guy is playing well. Okay, you can't sit here and tell me like recency bias because you're sitting here thinking like, oh, okay.
Jimmy G is a Final Four quarterback. He
is on a team that was in the final. He is not a Final Four quarterback.
He has been in the Final Four. He's led his team to the Final Four multiple times.
Okay, are we
to the Super Bowl?
He led the team
3 or 4 minutes, maybe 6, 7 minutes, however long it was, from winning the Super Bowl, up 10 in the fourth.
Okay,
Geno Smith has done this for a matter of weeks after years of backing
half a season.
up.
He's done it for a whole half a season. He's doing very well.
8 weeks.
On a team that everybody thought was just trash.
I have enjoyed this ride for Geno. I'm glad that it's happening.
They're going to the playoffs.
Of Tyler Lockett.
They're going to the playoffs.
They will not win that division. They are not better than the San Francisco.
Like I said, outside chance. I still think it's in the realm of possibility.
Who's better?
Okay, yeah, San Francisco has a better team, but that does not always mean that the best team wins the division. I still think San Francisco or Seattle is going to go to the playoffs, and I still think that they have a chance to win that division.
If they played tomorrow night, winner goes to the playoffs, and you had to bet $1,000 on it, who are you picking?
I gotta go San Francisco there.
Okay.
I gotta go San Francisco there.
Thank you for the talk. Next.
I still think, though,
can't. You can't. You can't.
I can and I will. I can
you
and I will.
You can't say I will
die on this
San
hill.
Francisco tomorrow.
Russell Wilson's here
game.
or not here. I don't have to hate Seattle anymore.
You don't have. I like them. I enjoy watching them play. I enjoy watching Geno play. That's okay.
You like the handsome man even more. I don't. Did he
I
buy
like to
you
ask
dinner?
you simple. I like to
What
ask
did
you
he do?
simple
Send you an
questions.
autograph
the man
picture
has won 65% of his games in his career. Geno's done this for 8 weeks. Carry on.
Okay.
I love Geno.
Okay.
I have him in many leagues right now.
All right. Let's talk about. Oh God, Indianapolis and Washington. Let's
This
talk
will be
about this
very
game.
brief. Heineke for the win.
Yeah, Heineke, Gibson, Terry all had useful games. The Colts, not a football team anymore.
They struggle.
They're trying to be bad. Like that whole division.
However, Nyheim Hines gone now. Jonathan Taylor should see more volume. There's no him trotting off the field. Deion Jackson, I don't think so.
I like Deion Jackson. Don't discount Deion Jackson. He can
I
still
don't think
play.
that he. But I don't think he gets the run that Nyheim Hines was getting. I think Taylor gets a little bit more.
Well, Taylor's having to come off the field now and get help with his ankle. So I want to see how this develops. Look, the same narrative that we talked about with Najee, we have to talk about with Jonathan Taylor. That if it gets bad enough and they don't want to risk the health of their workhorse, Deion Jackson has slight league-winning potential.
Oh,
we've already seen them use it.
That's a good call.
We've already
if
seen
they shut him down, I can see it.
You're talking like, okay, if that ankle gets worse, he's forced to miss another couple games, then it's extended. We've seen it happen with other players where, okay, he's gonna have to take some time off. And then they're like, you know what, guys, we're 4-12 or we're 4-10. What the hell's the point of bringing this guy back if we're just trying to tank?
Yeah.
Bring Deion Jackson in. It's him and Philip Lindsay, and then Deion Jackson ends up with 20 touches a game, and that's enough to give you a bump. So
Yep.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying.
You're just saying.
Let's talk about some San Francisco while we're here.
I'll let you do that. How about that?
Yeah.
Since you love them so much.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm taking this. Brandon Ayuk.
go ahead.
Brandon Ayuk, 81 in a score.
Perfect.
He's coming on. This is
I think he's good.
This is who I really was hoping would show up this year.
I
know
Christian
Debo was
McCaffrey
out.
could be good this year. I'm just gonna say it.
I wonder if he was the number 1 overall player for a reason.
No, Josh Allen is the number 1 overall player.
Well, I said was.
Yeah, no.
Christian McCaffrey was our number 1 overall player. Next
Would
year,
you
he
pick
won't
Christian
be.
McCaffrey or Josh Allen in this game? Yeah, exactly. I'm taking
In
Christian
what game?
McCaffrey. Exactly.
They didn't play each other.
Point made. Clown.
They didn't play
Clown
each
argument.
other.
Clown argument.
I would
Christian
take Josh
McCaffrey,
Allen at
101.
the 101.
Yeah, he wasn't even in this game, though, so he scored 0 points in this game. Christian McCaffrey, 101. Continue with your point.
Cincinnati and Cleveland. Well, I'm not talking about the Rams. They pissed me off. Cooper Kupp rolled his ankle. That's it. Cincinnati and Cleveland. The Bengals did not bother showing up for this game. That was so surprising. Joe Burrow was under pressure all night. Nick Chubb dominated once again. Amari Cooper looks awesome. It will be very interesting to see when Deshaun Watson is back, what happens to this offense, because the reliability that we have right now with Amari Cooper and Nick Chubb is so nice.
Are you worried at all about like a guy coming in late in the season having to shake off the rust?
Absolutely, yes.
Like,
and them saying, okay, how does he fit? What kind of offense do we want to run with him? Is it going to be the same? Like,
no, it's not
right
gonna be
before the
same.
fantasy football playoffs, he comes in and throws a wrench in what you have known and counted on for Nick Chubb. I mean, surely they keep handing it off, but man, I don't necessarily love the fact that he's going to come in and mess up what we have going.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I feel like a good quarterback isn't going to hurt a team overall. But I just think that Chubb has to beat that offense. I don't think you can stop giving it to him.
I agree.
So
it's so fun to watch him right now.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Let's get to the comments. We got a couple questions.
Yeah, we got some good talk here. Jamal Charles. The Jamal Charles. Stevenson and DK for Hill. I'm assuming they mean Tyreek.
Yeah.
Good catch by Jared. They could mean Taysom. Assuming Tyreek though. I think I gotta go Tyreek there, buddy.
I would take Tyreek also.
Yeah, I think in any sort of league.
Yeah.
Let's go with Captain Joe King. Or Captain Joking. I like it. He says, hi, loving the stream. Thank you. I have a question. My team, quarterback Justin Fields. His running backs are Eckler, Henry. That's great.
Nice.
Wide receivers, Devontae, D-Hop, Kadarius Toney. Oof. Tight end, Taysom Hill. I have the choice of trading D-Hop for Chubb. Should I do it?
Yes.
Yes, that's not a question.
I don't care what your roster looks like. You take Nick Chubb.
His running backs are really rough, but you have...
No, the running backs are great.
I'm sorry. The wide receivers are rough. Devontae, not the real Devontae, but D-Hop. Look, if you have Chubb, Eckler, and Henry, Eckler already passed his bye. Chubb has not had his bye, I don't believe. And then Henry has to go on bye. Yeah, I would still do that. I mean, granted, Kadarius Toney, I think you got to find a way to get that dude out of your lineup. I don't think he's going to be relevant.
Yeah, you'd use Taysom Hill, go get a receiver, and then stream tight end. But yes, Nick Chubb, for sure. Absolutely take that. DeAndre Hopkins is great. I'm a huge fan of him. I have a lot of shares. It's Nick Chubb. Go get Nick Chubb.
It is. Absolutely. Travis, let's talk about what we learned.
You're going to learn today. You're going to learn today.
All right. What did we learn, Travis? Okay, we had the trade deadline. We had a bunch of players on the move. Let's talk about some moves that were made. Let's start it off, of course, with the big trade that happened. Go ahead and hit me with what you thought of course, the Nyheim Hines trade. That's what I'm talking about right here.
I hate this trade. I hate it because I feel like James Cook showed flashes against the Packers that it was post-bye week. This is going to be what we want you to do, 70-plus yards. I was hoping that he would start to turn into something. Nyheim Hines kills that.
I think that's not good for any of these guys.
No, the whole backfield is shot.
It kills James Cook. I feel like on a team where they don't really throw to the running back a ton. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Devin Singletary was second in targets for a while on that team. So I think it's going to bring his ceiling down. I think Nyheim Hines is going to fill in the same role he had in Indianapolis, probably play a few more snaps, but I'm not excited about this one. That one, not my favorite.
Yeah, I don't like it. TJ Hawkinson, I love.
Yes, to the Vikings.
He was fine with Detroit and fit into their system. He's probably sad to leave. That's a fun culture to be a part of. I think it's great for the Vikings. It's great for Kirk Cousins. It's great for anybody on that offense. TJ Hawkinson is dynamic. And
finally a move in the NFL that is actually relevant towards Amon-Ra St. Brown. We can actually talk about the impact it has on Amon-Ra St. Brown. This is good for him. He's going to be absolutely annihilated with targets. I don't know that it's necessarily good for the offense as a whole, though.
I don't either. Fantasy-wise, though, what we're talking about, Amon-Ra St. Brown, it's going to be – the targets are going to be 12 to 15 a week. It's going to be stupid.
He's going to have and you know what? maybe this is actually good for, granted, we're a few weeks away. So if you can stash Jameson Williams of the Lions, he's a super dynamic first-round wide receiver that they drafted coming off an ACL injury. Maybe have a speculative ad for this guy, because I think between him and Amon-Ra, I think we could see some at least good volume by the end of the season. So that's
a few more minor trades. Actually, the two that did not happen, Kareem Hunt and Brandon Cooks getting stuck really, really hurt for them. I know that they both have the talent to really help a team, but
what about the Packers?
Nothing there, man. And then Rappaport says nothing doing for the Packers, though they really were trying. It's like,
they really were trying.
Now, at least they were trying. Feels great.
They get a ribbon, a participation ribbon. 2022 trade deadline participation. Congrats.
Instead, the receiver they should have gone to get, Chase Claypool, becomes a Chicago Bear.
I'm excited about this one.
Quick reactions of that before we get to big picks.
So we move Roquan Smith for a second-round pick, and then we turn around and use a second-round pick on Chase Claypool. I love it. I love it for a couple of reasons. One, we were never going to keep Roquan Smith. So what do we turn it into? We turn it into an extra pick and a wide receiver that will be on our roster all of next season. I'm here for it. So I'm good with it. I really am. So I think that turns into I heard someone actually compare Chase Claypool to Alan Lazard and how they're going to use him, same system and all. Someone you can use on the inside, outside, and all over the field. I'm excited for Chase Claypool. I think he's going to have some solid weeks in the future. Wide receiver 3 upside, which you could use. Once we get later in the season.
I agree. I'm excited for Claypool too. Actually, one more real quick.
Yeah.
Jeff Wilson to Miami. Does that kill Mostert for you? Do they become a 50-50?
No, I don't worry. This is what they wanted for whatever reason. This is what they envisioned. Because Chase, all right, so we have to break down Chase Edmonds there. He went to Denver in that trade. The running back, Jeff Wilson going to Miami, it just turns into that's the breather that they wanted to give to Raheem Mostert. Jeff Wilson can be their goal line guy. Raheem Mostert was always supposed to be that stretch, between the 20s guy, get you some chunk plays. I think Jeff Wilson is going to have some relevance, but I don't see him being anything he was in San Francisco. It's not the same type of offense,
So you're not expecting a drop off from Mostert now.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't see.
I
think
like
he's still
to hear
gonna get
that.
the work.
I like to hear that.
Yeah.
Are we ready?
Yeah, let's talk about let's round it out with a victory lap for us, Travis. We had our big picks last week. So glad we didn't kill the segment because Travis, we went 50%.
85 shows later, we hit.
Yeah, we're show 86 here, and we finally hit 50% on our big picks. Let's go ahead and I'll let you do the honors. Hit us with your quarterback. How did it turn out?
Dak Prescott. QB4 on the week, 26.4 points.
Beautiful.
He was sharp. The 30 yards and a touchdown on the ground really helped that, but he didn't have to do much. Tony Pollard took over in that game, but Dak was sharp. This is what we wanted to see from Dak all offseason. He's back.
Absolutely. I picked Andy Dalton. He had an okay game. Didn't put up the numbers that I thought he would. Didn't really have any pressure to keep throwing the ball, so Andy Dalton, 17 points. Didn't hit for me, but still a decent game.
The reason why he didn't hit was because Alvin Kamara,
that's
my big pick of the week, gave us 38.3 points, running back 1 on the week. Anytime you get a position player out of your big picks that finishes first at their position, it's an incredible feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. My running back big pick of the week went up against a team that is a sieve against the running back position, but Joe Mixon managed to get very little done. 9.4 points, and just such a disappointing offense for the Cincinnati Bengals in this game. He did not finish very well on the week, so he didn't hit for me either.
He'll be fine. Don't sell low on Mixon. Some people are going to freak out.
He's so frustrating,
Don't do it.
He's the most frustrating running back one.
The volume is there. The running back landscape, you cannot find high volume guys like that on good offenses. The second half of the year will be great for Joe Mixon.
I hope so. I got to look at that schedule. It's ugly.
AJ Brown, wide receiver 1. Wow. Wide receiver 1 on the week, 36.6 points.
Wow.
Joining Kamara, setting a record here at Losing Sucks for 2 position players at number 1 at their position. Yeet. Harrison Bryant, my tight end, 0 catches, sick.
Killer.
Thanks, bro. Great day. Glad I've been cheering for you for over 2 years now.
There you go. My wide receiver big pick of the week was the wide receiver 5, DJ Moore. Of course, like we talked about, had that bomb, 155 yards and a touchdown. You love to see it. Thank you for coming through, DJ. Thank you for coming back alive. Thank you, PJ Walker, for throwing the ball. You beautiful, beautiful specimen, you. And, of course, my decision of the Seattle Seahawks tight ends for my big pick of the week. I wasn't sure. Is it Dissly? Is it Fant? Is it Fant? Is it Dissly? Turns out the correct answer was none of them. And
that's okay. Again, Noah Fant, he's going to win the division.
For sure. He will be, Noah Fant by himself going to win that division. And you know what? It's true. You heard it here first. If the Seahawks win that division, I'm going to be just insufferable. Insufferable.
Yes, you
watch. And all my dreams are always a ligament away, man. Before we go, we got another comment question. Zayd, thank you for commenting in and joining the show. Traded away Cook and Mecole for JT and Judy. He has CMC and Patterson, but Evans and London at receivers. I feel like I lost the trade even though it's JT. What do you guys think? He traded away Cook and Mecole for JT and Judy. He got JT and Judy. I feel like he wins the trade.
I feel like you won the trade too. Keep the faith with Jonathan Taylor.
And Judy has quickly become the favorite wide receiver in Denver. Even with how bad Russell Wilson's been, Courtland Sutton has been banged up, and they tried to plead with him not to play, and he's playing anyway, which isn't always good.
And Mecole Hardman is a non-factor. It's a waiver wire pickup.
For sure. So I think trading away Cook for 2 startable assets, absolutely, you win. So feel good about that trade, buddy. And Jared, of course, says he's clipping that for me. I don't
accountability.
Say that. Accountability. Don't tweet me out to fantasy receipts.
All right, Dustin, bring us home.
Y'all, thank you so much for listening. This has been episode 86. As always, we're Losing Sucks. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Losing Sucks. And check out our website at losingsucksfantasy.com. Again, we will be back on Thursday talking about Week 9 previews and, of course, have big picks, heartfelt messages, and all that good jazz. As always, I'm Dustin. That's Travis. And remember, losing sucks. Don't do it.